Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahshua, Wahara Hakodash. Double honors to apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the elect, which we hope to be. Now, it's your brother Hawaii from GMS Chicago. Got a quick little lesson for you Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelites who bear the shame of looking like heathens who spirit bear witness that they're a child of the Heavenly Father. In the name of the Heavenly Father, it's Yahweh, who the world English calls Jehovah God. In the name of the Heavenly Son, it's Yahweh Shai, who the world English calls Jesus Christ, or Jesus Christos, or Yeshua, Yeshaya, Yahweh. And pretty much, this is a response video to Behold the Physician, the brother Shatia's video, and it's called Bad Uncle Esau, Shane and Movie Award Show. And pretty much, it's just Esau, pretty much the so-called Caucasians, letting them know, letting you Negroes, Latinos, and Natives how much they really don't care for you. You know what I'm saying? You know, they don't really think you as equals, man. You know, and I'm gonna play a little bit of the video, and then I'm gonna get into some scriptures.
I feel very honored and privileged to be here tonight. Baptists have always been very supportive of my career, and I'm deeply appreciative. But I have to say that I also feel conflicted because so many of my fellow actors that are deserving don't have that same privilege. I think that we send a very clear message to people of color that you're not welcome here. I think that's a message that we're sending to people that have contributed so much to our medium and our industry and in ways that we benefit from. I don't think anybody wants a handout or preferential treatment, although that's what we give ourselves every year. I think that people just want to be acknowledged and appreciated and respected for their work. This is not a self-righteous condemnation because I'm ashamed to say that I'm part of the problem. I have not done everything in my power to ensure that the sets I work on are inclusive, but I think that it's more than just having sets that are multicultural. I think that we have to really do the hard work to truly understand systemic racism. I think that it is the obligation of the people that have created and perpetuate and benefit from a system of oppression to be the ones that dismantle it. So that's on us.
God, you know, and it just shows that Esau doesn't really care for the Negroes pretty much and stuff, but it's not necessarily just the Negroes, even though that's what he said, you know. But it's also for the Latins and the natives as well, man. You know. And I want to start off with Ezekiel 35:5. It says, "Because thou hast a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time their iniquity had an end." You know what I'm saying? So, hey, they have a perpetual hatred against us, man. They do not care and whatnot and stuff. And you can see it within their society, man, because they understand that the nation of Israel, according to the scriptures, who we are, you know what I'm saying? You know, where we live in different areas and stuff, according to the curses. When it come down to the Rothschilds, Gettys, the DuPonts, and Oppenheimers, the rich Jewish banking families, the ones that are actual like high level, well, the fake Jews, you could say, you know what I'm saying, the Zionists or whatever, pretty much they know who the Israelites are, you know what I'm saying, you know, and they have a perpetual hatred because within their society, they created a constitution or within their laws and stuff that would be that's allowing things that would be contrary, where it caused the nation of Israel to go off. You know what I'm saying? You know, this is Psalms chapter 10, verse 7. It says, "His mouth is full of cursing." I'm gonna start at verse 2. It says, "The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor." Who's the poor? The nation of Israel, man. You know, because we're set at the bottom. It says, "Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined," meaning that everything that they doing unto us, they gonna get back doublefold, like it says in Revelations 18:6. Verse 7, it says, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. Now you can go into that word mischief. It's the Hebrew word tazawara, which means trouble. You know what I'm saying? So he's always trying to make up some sort of trouble against us. Ooh. And it says, it also says, and let me grab this. This is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 16. It says, for they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. And when within a society and stuff, it teaches the nation of Israel how to fall. That's why they so worried about when it come down to Israelite babies, you know what I'm saying, to teach them the ways of the world and stuff, why they can accept it, you know, so they can accept destruction, you know, because it says in Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Right, so hey, what vibration you think they're gonna want to dwell in? Wickedness. They're not gonna dwell in righteousness. And according to their forefather Cain, Genesis 4:7, it says that if thou doest well, thou shalt be accepted. But if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And when you look at his kingdom and stuff, it's all about things that's transgressing the laws of the Lord, man. You know. So he set up these laws just so Jake can follow and accept his ways, man. You know, because it's his master plan of taking us down. You know, that's why he, like the scripture says, accuser of thy brethren. You know what I'm saying? The reason why they do that and stuff, they be like, well, see, look, they eating pork. We'll see they committing adultery. We'll see they doing this. We'll see they doing that and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that you the one who's putting those things there. You the one who's bringing some sort of programming and stuff for us to accept these things and stuff as a child growing up, man. You know. It says, verse 8, it says, Psalms 10:8, it says, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. It says, in his secret places doeth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor, so he murdered the innocent. The innocent are the Israelites, man. You know, because you grow up learning the ways of wickedness, man. You learn the ways of the world. That's why you got so many jakes and stuff. They can't put out smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, smoking Black and Mild, smoking cigars, smoking cigarillos. You know what I'm saying? They can't put off committing adultery, having sex with another man's woman. You know, these women can't put off not having the liberty to be able to have sex with whoever they please, man. You know, you got the homosexuality and all that stuff. You got the bestiality, ecosexuality, the child pedophilia. You got the what was it called? Necrophilia, where you have sex with dead people. You know what I'm saying? You know, these things were taught, and they also advertise and stuff. Like when it come down to a lot of these rappers and whatnot, they ain't actually in really gangbang. You know, they ain't go through the harshness and whatnot and stuff. They was sitting on the casting couch getting this deal, and the deal is, it's like, with you being a J, I'm paying you to send your people off. And that's what they doing. Look at D-Wade and stuff, allowing his son to be a homosexual, man, at a young age, man. This man can't, and his son is not even old enough to even grab no liquor, man. He can't grab no car. He can't buy no house. You know what I'm saying? You know, shoot, he can't even buy no condoms. You know, because he ain't old enough, right? But he able to change his sex at a young age. And these are the things that's being allowed, which are snares and trap that the wicked do. You know what I'm saying? Because they know what the influence is gonna do. If you advertise it and it's like, this is the only way to be cool and everybody doing it, Jake is going to have that peer pressure and it's going to be like, hey, you know what? We got to do this too, just so we can be cool, you know? And it also says in John 8:44, ye of your father the devil, the lust of your father ye shall do. You know what I'm saying? Because Esau, with this being his kingdom right now, he's in power. So every Jake is trying to seek after the same way of how his power is being able to be received, man, you know? In order for you to receive power or a amount of power, you know what I'm saying, you got to follow his rules. Other than that, you're not going to rise above these Edomites. You ain't going to do it. You know, if you want to be successful within his kingdom, you got to do what he do. You got to cast your people down. You got to help him out, bring your nation down into wickedness. You know, this is verse 9. It says, he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. You know, when you go into that word net, it's the word rashath. It's the word, it's the word. It's the radashah and athar rashath, which means net, for catching, of judgment. Leaders leading people to sin. as a trap for man. And what's those main traps, man? Christianity, man. These different philosophies and stuff. These philosophies of lies and stuff, man. You know that you got these pastors and stuff, whether they Edomites or Jakes. You know what I'm saying? They underneath a 501c3 charter and stuff, where they're licensed to teach you certain things and stuff, but not the whole truth of the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? You know, why is that? Because they give you smooth things, man. They want to give you things that sound good and stuff. You know, that's why it's so heavy within the churches about how merciful the Lord is, but then they don't teach you the other side about how great wrath can come from the Lord, man. To keep you in fear, to do the things that you're supposed to keep the law, statute, commandments. That's why they give you lies saying that the law is done away with. But when they pass that basket around, that's actually one of the laws, which is tithes. You know what I'm saying? But since they know that you're not in the know, they cause you to commit iniquity, which is sin upon sin, man. You know, come as you are. Pretty much they accept homosexuals in the church, but they don't teach homosexuals that, hey, you gotta repent and stop doing that way. That you can't be a homosexual no more and stuff if you want to be favoring the eyes of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you want the Lord to be on your side and stuff, guess what? You gotta you gotta be about what He's doing. You know what I'm saying? But they don't teach that. You know, and this is one of their snares, because if who's the one that's able to give licenses? Esau. Why a license is pretty much permission to do something. You know what I'm saying? You know, so if they underneath a 501c3 charter and they license to do these things, then guess what? It's a trap. You know what I'm saying? You know. Verse 10, it says, he croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones, man. You know, the ways of life, you know, it's like, hey, you know, this movie called The Island, you know, and pretty much the movie The Island and stuff, what happened in it was that they was promising people a lottery and stuff, that they was gonna send them to an island and stuff, and that they was gonna be, you know, just living it up and whatnot and stuff. And it was just a bunch of lies. They was geeking their head up and stuff, because really what was going on is that if you had if you made the lottery and stuff, you wasn't going to the island. You was actually being put to death so they could restart you over, man. Because it was insurance plans for people, because they was just clones, you know what I'm saying, for Esau to cheat death. You know what I'm saying? For the Edomites that was real rich and whatnot, they would create clones and stuff. So just in case their organs fail, they can get it from their clones. And it was called an insurance plan. You know what I'm saying? But the clones and stuff, they thinking they living real lives and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They monitor them and everything and stuff. And pretty much all they did was tell those clones lies and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just so when the client wanted to cash in on an organ and stuff, they can put them to death, man. You know? They was women that was impregnated and stuff. It was like, there's one woman, she was pregnant and stuff, she failed and whatnot, and because she was going into labor, and pretty much the baby that she had conceived, you know what I'm saying, the women that are the nurses or the doctors that was working on her and stuff, she was like, can I hold my baby? And she was like the doctor was like, not right now. And then you could tell on the Edomite woman face and stuff, the nurse, the helper, the assistant, whatever, she holding the baby and stuff, and she didn't even want to she wasn't gonna give the baby back. You could tell it all in her face. Held her down and stuff, with the doctor give her some sort of shot within the little tubing and stuff that's connected to her body and stuff, you know what I'm saying, to put her to death, you know. But this whole entire time she's thinking that she just had a baby and stuff, can't even hold a baby, you know what I'm saying, thinking she gonna hold a baby when the doctor told her to wait, and then next thing you know, thinking she finna go to the island when really they planning to putting her to death. And you got thousands of other people within this 4-tower prison, you know what I'm saying, thinking that they finna actually go to paradise, man. Don't know what's going on, you know. And then for the ones that actually had questions, you know what I'm saying, when they was actually curious about this, that, and the third and stuff, they looked at them as a potential threat or something, man, you know. So it just shows that man, and it's the same way when it come down to Jake, man. You know, it's like we promise you this, you promise that. Don't you know when it come down to those high levels like Lil Wayne and whatnot and stuff that you got to do some real dirty and vain things just in order for you can get that money. You know, you can't honestly get no money like what's his name, Nipsey Hussle, Nipsey Hussle. You know what I'm saying? He was actually trying to make it where he could make some money and stuff and go above the Edomites, and they wouldn't let him do that. They saw how he was actually trying to bring up and uplift the nation and whatnot within his own way, even though it wasn't according to the scriptures. But the thing is that what did they do? They put him to death because they saw what he was doing. You know, they don't want you Negroes, Latinos, and natives to build up and to rise up. Why do you think the truth is such a problem for them? Because it's a rising of the nation. You know what I'm saying? You know, this is Judith in the Apocrypha chapter 5. I'm gonna start at verse 17. It says in Apocrypha, it says and whilst they sinned not before their power, they prospered because the Most High that hateth iniquity was with them. It says, but when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles very sore, and were led captives into the land that was not theirs. It says, in the temple of their power was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies. But now are they returned to their power, and are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate. Verse 20, I should have just went to this. Verse 20, it says, now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against this people, and they sin against their power, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them. So they set up their society and stuff just for the nation of Israel to fall. You know what I'm saying? You got when the guy who was playing the Joker and stuff, when he was giving out his speech, you know what I'm saying? When it come down to most of the movies and stuff, when it come down to Negroes, Latinos, and natives and stuff, what's going on? They gangbangers. You know what I'm saying? They selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? They pimps. You know what I'm saying? The women are hoes, or whores. You know what I'm saying? You know, the mothers on crack and whatnot and stuff, in these low level housing and stuff. Or if she got to really make it up into the big leagues and stuff, she got to have sex with so many bosses and stuff, man. You know, they always give off a negative vibration and stuff when they come down to our people, man. And what does that negative vibration brings? It's like, I got to do this and stuff, or it relates, you know, to the people in that's doing these things. You know what I'm saying? It relates to the jakes that's doing these things within their neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? So they can feel comfortable where it's like, this is okay. You know what I'm saying? You know, when really it's just it's a plot to keep you in a mind frame where it's like, this is where you need to be. Don't even think about rising. Don't even think about trying to make some money. You know what I'm saying? You know, because even when it came down to Nipsey Hussle and stuff, it's a thing called butt breaking, where really what happened was in the slave days, they'll take like the one that was considered the strongest influence amongst all the other slaves. You know what I'm saying? And what they would do is rape him, you know what I'm saying, in front of all the slaves, or to pretty much make him powerless. You know what I'm saying? So it can send out a message to all the other jakes or all the other slaves. It's like, don't rise against me, because I humiliate you, or I will put you to death. You know what I'm saying? You know, and this is the things that they use. You know, they use these things just to keep the nation of Israel down. Why? Because they're not thinking about equal opportunity, man. This is Psalms. This is Psalms. This is Psalms chapter 83, starting at verse 1. Verse 2. It says, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Counsel. It's the word sawar, the sadawad, sawad, salaki. It's the sadawad and the da, sawad, which means counsel, assembly. It says counsel of familiar conversation, divine circle, assembly, company, counsel, secret counsel, familiar converse, intimacy. It says consultation, a secret assembly, council, inward secret council. You got the Bohemian Groves. You know what I'm saying? When they go into the underground and stuff and worship Moloch, which is a owl, you know, a statue and stuff that's the picture of a foul, something that we humans have dominion over. you know. But and then they in the movie The Simpsons and stuff, you know what I'm saying, when they were showing the Illuminati stuff, how they addressing the red big old red hoodies and stuff with the red robes, and they come to that long table and stuff, they discuss different things on how to bring Jake down, you know, or how to make them think that they making it and stuff, and really they not actually doing anything, where they not actually gaining no real power. You know what I'm saying? Because here it is, the nation of Israel. We had land, we had gold, we had silver, and we traded all that in for paper dollars, man. You know, which is a certificate or a certain percentage and stuff, or a unit of gold, man. Gold and silver certificates, man. And it's not even like that no more, you know? So you just getting paper when we had real substances and stuff, man. You know? Why you think that when it come down to when you you know, when you trying to buy land and whatnot and stuff, that they trip out about that, because that's real power, that's real substance. You know what I'm saying? They'll kill you if you try to go for it. Anybody that's living off the grid and stuff, where they can't tax you for anything, they consider you a terrorist, and they seek after your life. So how much more ones that they have a perpetual hatred against, man? Scripture says, "Never trust thy enemy." This is it says Psalms 83:3. It says, "They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones." It says, "They have said, come and let us cut off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." You know what I'm saying? So they cutting it off. And how did they do? How they do it? Calling you black, African American, calling you Mexican, calling you Latino, whatever and stuff. You know, Puerto Rican. You know, calling you Cuban, calling you Argentinian, calling you Cuban, calling you Native American Indian, Seminole Indian and stuff, because Indian means savages, but we weren't no savages. We actually, savage means beast and stuff, but they came to us, you know, for looking for help and stuff, how to survive on the land. They the real savages, man. They the real beasts. You know what I'm saying? And you know, the Ecuadorians and stuff, you know what I'm saying, calling us by different other names, you know, the Haitians, the West Indians, the Trinidadians, the Jamaicans and stuff, you know, the Mexicans and stuff, you know. Hey, they was calling us all these different names and stuff to cut us off, because with us not knowing who we are and stuff, also cuts us off from the doctrine, you know, the ways that we follow and stuff, you know. So they'll teach us another way, you know, to teach us another way. Like it's a movie. It says something my heart at Wounded Knee. You know what I'm saying, about Gad. You know, and no, bury my heart in Wounded Knee, and pretty much you had like Sitting Bull and whatnot, who was like still strong about, nah, we gonna keep our customs and whatnot. If you put me to death, that's what you gonna do and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, but there was some Gadites and stuff where they folded in and stuff. You know what I'm saying, for the ways of the Edomites, man. You know, got their land taken away, where they folded and stuff instead of just fighting for it, man. You know, and then later down the line and stuff, they started calling them Native Americans and stuff, or calling them citizens and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Where they slowly but surely through their generations lost their way, man. And this is the same way. You know, that's why our people they fight for something that's actually destroying them. Like it says in Micah 2:10, "This is not your rest, for it's utterly polluted. It will destroy you," and it is destroying you. You know, our people mind frames, when it come down to Deuteronomy 28:28, it says, "I shall smite thee with madness, astonishment, and blindness of heart," man. You know what I'm saying? Our people will consume things that actually kill them and stuff, but since it makes them feel good and stuff, they continue to do it. Then wondering later down the line and stuff why they got all these problems. You know what I'm saying? Why they got all these health problems. You know what I'm saying? The mind frame is like, hey, you know what? I'm finna go to the doctor, you know what I'm saying, for this one thing, you know what I'm saying, which is going to give me like 4-5 different side effects that's going to cause me to go to the doctor again to get medicine, not just for the one thing that I went for, but also to cover up the side effects that I'm dealing with from that one pill that I needed for that one problem. Now you got 5, 6, 7, 8, 15 other problems and stuff, you know, and they making money off this instead of giving you herbs or letting you know different processes or however long it takes for these herbs or different extracts and stuff that you eat from the land and stuff. You know what I'm saying, to actually heal you. You know, it says read verse 4 again. It says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. It says, for they had consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. You know what I'm saying? That word confederate is the word barayath, barayath, which means covenant alliance. You know what I'm saying? So they teamed up. You know, we gonna see who's teamed up to go against the nation of Israel to cut it off from remembrance. This is verse 6. It says the tabernacles of Edom. It says in the Ishmaelites, which is Arabians. It says of Moab, the Chinese. It says the Hagarians. You know what I'm saying? I forget what they are. Of Gabal. It says in Ammon. Ammon is the Japanese. It says Amalek, and Amalek is the chief, the chief of the nation of Edom, man. You know what I'm saying? They Edomites as well. They just a chief nation. And those are the Zionists. You know what I'm saying? You know, the ones with the black hats, big old black hats and stuff, where it seemed like you could put a small plate upon. You know, with the curly sideburns and stuff, which you would never find in the scriptures to do that. You know what I'm saying? You know, and to wear all black all the time. Them guys. And it says in the Philistines, which are the Africans. It says with the inhabitants of Tyre. It says Ashur, the Assyrians, also is joined with them. They have hoping, and that word hoping is the word Izar. It's the I, the Zah, and it's the Zarai. It's Salakia. It's Zarai. It's the Zai, the Zah, the Ra, the I, and the Ha, Zarai. No, the Zah, the Ra, and the I, Zarai, which means arm, forearm, shoulder strength. You know, to strengthen. So it says Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Selah. It says do unto them, unto the Midianites, as to Syria, as to Jabin, as the book of Kinshin. You know, so pretty much what they wanted to do was cut us off from knowing who we are, and not just knowing who we are, but also following the right ways and stuff, because that's the only way for them to prosper. They got to kick us down for them to rise, man. You know? And they not for us, man. You know, no matter how you look at it and stuff, you know, they might give you these different little gifts. You might get some money and stuff, but guess what? You got to do some stuff that's gonna actually go against your power. That will make you an enemy against Yahweh Shem Yahshai, man. You know. So I hope this video was edifying. I'd like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshai Wahara Chakadash. Double honors to apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to your elect, which we hope to be. Shalom and a Abba.